season replays, fantasy drafts, ultimate creative leagues, and what if tournament. It's Coffee Cup Games with the coach, DKM. Hey, this is Coach DK with Coffee Cup Games. Hope you guys are having a good one. One of the challenges we do here at Coffee Cup Games is the perfect game challenge. We pick a pitcher, we put him against one of the worst teams or a group of some of the worst players during that era or that season, and we try to see if our pitcher can get a perfect game or at least a no-hitter. We give them 5 attempts to see if they can accomplish it. We have met the challenge. If we cannot, we have failed. So we're going to do the perfect game challenge, and we're going to do it with one of the all-time greatest pitchers who had one of the greatest all-time seasons, none other than the legend himself, Bob Gibson. This was a request by Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke. So we thought, let's go ahead, let's do this challenge with Bob Gibson from his greatest season, 1968. In 1968, Bob Gibson went 22-9. He started 34 games. He completed 28 of them, and he had 13 shutouts. He pitched almost 305 innings, had a 1.12 ERA. He allowed 198 hits, walked 62, and struck out 268. And probably one of the most impressive lines is his 0.853 whip. So the challenge is, can we get Bob Gibson to have a perfect game or at least a no-hitter in 5 attempts? And of course, we need to know who he's going to be going against. So instead of picking the worst players from that particular season, because it took a lot of work, I decided to pick the 2 worst teams in that decade, roll a dice, and figure out who would be the competition. And in this case, it was the 1962 New York Mets.
You suck!
That's right. Bob Gibson's going to get 5 attempts to get a perfect game or at least a no-hitter going against the 1962 New York Mets. So can the 1968 Bob Gibson get a perfect game or a no-hitter against the 1962 Mets? Well, let's go ahead. Let's jump into the action with attempt number 1 by Bob Gibson. Of course, before we jump in, go ahead, hit that thumbs up, like the video. I'd really appreciate if you guys would subscribe to the channel. If you have a suggestion of who you'd like to see me do with the perfect game challenge, go ahead and put that in the comment section down below, as well as any questions, comments, or snide remarks. So now let's jump into our perfect game challenge with Bob Gibson from 1968. All right, here we are, our first attempt at a perfect game. We are at Busch Stadium. It is a bad day, which obviously favors Bob Gibson, as the hitters are going to have a hard time getting hits. Richie Ashburn, by far their best hitter, who the only hitter on their team who hit over 275. Here's the first pitch against the leadoff man. He needs a 1 to 10. It's going to be a 13, so it's going to be a line out the second, but that was dangerous. And now I'm not even going to try to pronounce half these names. Chacon is up, and it's going to be a strikeout. That's going to be 2 down, and now Mantilla is up. Mantilla with a strikeout. So a 1-2-3 inning in this first inning. Top of the second, Frank Thomas, not big hurt, but that just happens to be the picture that's under his name, is going to be up to bat, and he's going to be strikeout. 3 strikeouts for Bob Gibson. Now Throneberry's up, and he's going to be strikeout. 4 strikeouts for Bob Gibson, and now Neal is up, and Neal's going to hit a ground ball to Shannon at third. That's going to end the inning, a 1-2-3 inning, but for the second time, Bob Gibson has 2 strikeouts in the inning. Top of the third. Here goes Bob Gibson on the mound going against Hickman, the center fielder, at 245, and he's going to be strikeout. Number 5 for Gibson. Now Taylor's up, the catcher. He needs a 1 to 10 for a double. The rest is a single on the pitcher's card, and unfortunately, it is a 5. So in the third inning, New York ends up getting a hit and ruining our perfect game and no-hitter. So in attempt number 1, we have failed the perfect game challenge. Here we are, attempt number 2 in our perfect game challenge. Bob Gibson on the mound going against Richie Ashburn. The first pitch is going to be a fly ball to Curt Flood in center field, who's got very good range, and he makes a nice catch as he had to make a defensive play. And now Chacon is up. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a strikeout. 2 down, and now Mantilla is up. Here's the pitch, and he's going to issue a walk.
Idiot.
So we cannot get the perfect game, but can we get a no-hitter? Here is Frank Thomas, not big hurt, but the other one, and he's going to draw a walk. Go! So 2 walks right off the bat in the first inning, and now Throneberry's up. He's going to ground ball to second base, so that it will end the inning as we get out without giving up any hits. Here is Neil up to bat, the second baseman in the top of the second. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a strikeout. Another strikeout for Bob Gibson, and now Hickman's up, and he's going to be strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts in the second, and now Taylor's up. He needs a 1-4. It's going to be a 17, so the 20-die roll comes out and helps us, as that's going to be a line out the second, so no harm done in the second. Top of the third, Anderson, the pitcher, is up. Obviously, we think we're going to do well against him, and we do with a strikeout. Number 4 for Gibson, top of the order. Here's Ashburn. Ashburn's going to hit a ground ball to Cepeda at first base. That's going to be one down, and now Chacon is up, and he's going to be strikeout. So 1-2-3 inning in the third. Top of the fourth, Mantilla is up, their third baseman. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a fly ball to center field. Kurt Flood has to move a few steps to his left. He's easily able to pull that one, and that's going to be one down. And now Frank Thomas is up. He's going to hit a ground ball to Javier at second. That's going to be 2 down, and now Throneberry's up, and he's going to hit a line ball to Javier, and that's going to end the inning very quickly. 1-2-3. Top of the fifth, still have not given up a hit. We did issue 2 walks in the first inning, but we got Neil coming up to bat. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a strikeout. Number 6 for Bob Gibson, and now he's going against Hickman. He's going to hit a ground ball to Maxville. Give me that! Maxville with an unbelievable play as short, keeping this one from being a hit. What a defensive gem, keeping this no-hitter alive, and now Taylor is up. Taylor's going to hit a ground ball to Javier, slides a little bit to his left, takes off the second bounce, throws it to first, and that's going to end the inning. 1-2-3. Luckily for us, we had great defense in that one to keep the no-hitter alive. Top of the sixth, Anderson, the pitcher, is up. They're going to let him hit, and he's going to hit a pop-up in the infield. Maxville calls everyone off. That's going to be an out to short. 1 down, and now top of the order. Here's Ashburn, their best hitter. He's going to hit a pop-up as well. This one's going to go over to the other side of the field to Javier, and that's going to be 2 down, and now Chacon is up, and he's going to be strikeout. Number 7 for Bob Gibson, as he is gone without giving up a hit so far through 6 innings. Top of the 7th, they got Mantilla up. Mantilla, the third baseman, at 275 with 11 home runs, and he's going to be strikeout. And now Thomas, the left fielder, comes up. He had 34 home runs back in 1962. 1968, Bob Gibson. Here's the pitch, and it's going to need a 1-4 for a single. It's going to be a 19.
Nice!
And so a 20-die roll comes in our favor. That's going to be a line out to short, so that's 2 down. And now Throneberry, the first baseman's up, and he's going to hit a line ball to second to Javier. 1-2-3, as we're going to get through the 7 innings so far, and we still have a no-hitter.
Yahoo!
Top of the 8th, we got their 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming up to bat. Here's Neil, the second baseman, hit 260. He needs a 1-4. It's going to be an 11.
Yeah, boy!
So luckily, this ballpark effect is helping us, and that's going to be 1 down. Here comes Hickman. Hickman, one of their worst hitters on their team, and he's going to be strikeout. 2 down in the top of the 8th. Here's Taylor, the catcher, and it's going to be a dribbler in front of home plate, and McGarver scoops this one up, throws it to first. That's going to be an out, so we are 3 outs away from a no-hitter with Bob Gibson from 1968.
Oh my goodness gracious!
It all comes down to this. Top of the 9th, Bob Gibson, 3 outs away from a no-hitter, the best we've done so far in this perfect game challenge. Here's Anderson, the pitcher. I'm sure they're going to bring in somebody to pinch hit. They will. They're bringing in Hobie Landreth to pinch hit. He is the catcher. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a walk.
Bruh.
So luckily for us, that does not hurt our pursuit for a no-hitter. Richie Ashburn now up top of the order, the right fielder. He is 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. He's going to hit a fly ball to Roger Maris in right field. He's got decent range.
Oh, yes!
He makes a great running play to get that one.
Nice!
Another beautiful defensive play to keep this no-hitter intact. And now Chacon is up. He's 0 for 3. 2 outs away from a no-hitter.
Just a bit outside.
And it's going to be a wild pitch. That's okay. Doesn't hurt us.
Because I've been here before. I'm a professional. This is what I do.
Here we go. The pitch. And it's going to be a strikeout. So another strikeout, number 10 for Bob Gibson. It all comes down to this. Mantilla trying to break it. Bob Gibson trying to get the no-hitter. Here's the pitch. And a strikeout.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party.
A no-hitter by Bob Gibson from 1968 against the 1962 New York Mets. The best we've done so far here in this perfect game challenge. Attempt number 3. Well, this is going to make it a little bit easier from this point forward, that if they get anybody on base, we can go ahead and end the challenge because we've already gotten our no-hitter. Now let's see if we can get a perfect game. Richie Ashburn up to bat. Gibson's going to get a strikeout. Against Ashburn, 1 down. Chacon is up, and he's going to draw a walk.
Denied.
So unfortunately, that is going to end that attempt at a perfect game already in the first inning. But obviously, I don't feel that bad because we just got done with a no-hitter. So let's go ahead and try attempt number 4. Attempt number 4, Richie Ashburn up to bat. Here's Bob Gibson on the mound, and he's going to get Ashburn to hit a pop-up to Maxville at short. That's going to be 1 down, and now Chacon is up. He's going to hit a ground ball to Maxville. That's going to be 2 down, and now Mantilla is up, and he's going to hit a ground ball to Shannon at third. That's going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning in the top of the first. Top of the second, Frank Thomas is up. Here's the pitch against Thomas. It's going to be a ground ball to Javier, who has to make a play. Javier with a diving play, hops up, throws it to first, and he is able to get Thomas out. That's going to be 1 down, and Throneberry's now up, and he's going to rip a single over second base and first base. That's going to be a hit, so that's going to end attempt number 4 at our perfect game challenge. Our last attempt at a perfect game we have already achieved. A no-hitter by Bob Gibson from 1968 going against the 1962 New York Mets, one of the worst teams and seasons in Major League Baseball history. Here's Ashburn, the leadoff man. He's going to hit a ground ball to Maxville. He's going to have to make a play. He does. A good defensive play, so that's going to be 1 down, and now Chacon is up, and that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout by Gibson, and now Mantilla is up, and that's going to be a strikeout to end the first inning for Gibson. Top of the second, Gibson going against Thomas, the left fielder. He got 34 home runs, but he's going to hit a ground ball to Javier at second. That's going to be an easy out, 1 down. And now Throneberry's up. He needs a 1-5 for a home run. This one's going back. Maris goes all the way back to the wall. He stops, and he pulls this one in. That was a threat there. So we get the out. That's going to be 2 down, and now Neal is up, and Neal's going to hit a ground ball to Shannon at third. So a little bit of a scare there, but it is 1-2-3 as Gibson mows him down in the second. Top of the third, up the bat is Hickman, the center fielder. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a strikeout. 1 down, and now Taylor is up, and Taylor's going to pop this one up to Javier at second. That's going to be 2 down. And then finally comes Anderson, the pitcher. He's going to hit a ground ball to Shannon at third, who I think has gotten almost every third out in this game so far. But regardless, it is a 1-2-3 inning, so 1/3 way through this game, and Gibson still has a perfect game. Top of the fourth is top of the order for New York as they got Ashburn, the right fielder, up. Here's the pitch, and he's going to hit a ground ball to Javier at second. Javier with another strong defensive play. So that's going to be 1 down, and now Chacon is up, and that's going to be a strikeout 4 strikeout for Bob Gibson in this one. And now Montilla is up, and he needs a 1-14. It's going to be a 5, so it's going to have eyes to get through the infield, up the middle as Javier quite can't get there. And that is going to end attempt number 5 at a perfect game. This was our 4th attempt at a perfect game, and Bob Gibson came through, and though he did not get the perfect game, he did pitch a no-hitter in our 2nd attempt. So though we still have not achieved the perfect game, Bob Gibson from 1968 is the first pitcher to get a no-hitter in this challenge. Man, that was actually fun, got a little bit stressful. Some great defensive plays to keep that one alive. But at the end of the day, we still have not achieved the perfect game, though we have achieved our very first no-hitter. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this little challenge that I've been doing with some of the greatest pitchers throughout Major League Baseball history, and something that I call the Perfect Game Challenge. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Coach TK. Have a good one. Bye.